वाक् प्राणश्चक्षु श्रोत्रमथो बलमेन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्यां मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मेस्तु तदात्मनि निरते य उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। May all my limbs attain strength. May the body, the mind, all the sensory and motor organs become strong and perfected. All is verily the one without second, absolute, ever blissful, ever conscious and perfect existence itself, the Brahman. May I never deny Brahman. May the Brahman never reject me either. May all the virtues which are spoken of by the scriptures as necessary to realize this truth be with me. Om, peace, peace, peace. Let us feel this spirit of oneness, that God pervades everything, and that is the storehouse of all bliss that we seek in life, and we shall straightway turn towards our regular class today without doing into much meditation. It was the very auspicious holy day of Shivaratri, the new moon night where the Lord of Shiva is worshipped. There is a lot of significance in that Ratri means night, and in night what happens, forget about the lights are being put and so forth, but in a very dark night there are no lights, all the variety is dissolved in the darkness. So it is there we can see the truth as it were, when all the forms they get dissolved. The forms are impermanent. One can, as I like to give this analogy, look at the waves, the waves, they rise and fall. They do not have any existence as such. It is only an appearance. The existence is that of divine, the God, like the ocean. The ocean remains, the waves rise and fall. So let us begin this with the discussion of Srimad Bhagavatam with our regular opening chant. Janmadyasya yatonvayaditarata श्चार्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि. That from whom creation, sustenance and dissolution of the universe take place, who is both the instrumental and material cause of it, who is omniscient, is the only one having self-mastery, being the one independent entity, who illumined the mind of Brahma with the Vedic revelation, whose wisdom is the wonder of even the greatest sages, in whom the world of the three gunas subsists just as the combination of materials like fire, water and earth subsist in their causes without changing their elemental nature, in whose consciousness there is nothing false. In that truth supreme we meditate. As we know, in the study of Purana, Purana means where the highest truths are presented through illuminating stories. Very interesting, absorbing, attractive stories are presented, and through those stories, most abstruse philosophical truths are brought to us. It has two advantages. One is the stories, they attract us, and so we get to, automatically have that story, and that's through the story the truth. That is one thing. It is like having a very bitter medication, but that pill gets sugar coated. So when you put it in the mouth, you don't feel that bitterness, and thus you easily take it in. Second great advantage is that you understand that these truths are practical in life. It is not just a philosophy, but there are people who actually live this truth. They practice it, they show the practice both ways. I mean, what happens when one experiences these truths, and second, which is more important for us, is in what way we also will be able to experience this truth in life. This passage from ignorance to knowledge, that is also seen in and through these wonderful stories. For some classes we have been following a very beautiful tale, the story of Hiranyakashipu and Prahlada. Prahlada, it is, I don't know, at least during my childhood, there hardly would be a child who would not have heard this beautiful story, has not read this story in the children's book. So, the story goes like, it is the Prahlada. He was devoted to God right from the birth, and his father is this terrible demon Hiranyakashipu, who, as everybody, loved his child dearly. But this child seemed to be a very difficult one. Means the parents generally get annoyed if the children do not do what they tell them to do. It is, hey, I have told you several times, why don't you do like this, as I tell you? So, this Prahlada, his devotion to God was great. And although the father, who is demon, and was have this understanding that I alone am the ruler of this universe, all universe belongs to me, I am the God, no name of any other God thing should be uttered here, I am the God. That is the meaning of one becoming a demon really, that this I gets aggrandized further and further, more and more aggrandizement of this I connected with body. That is what is the meaning of being a demon. So, Prahlada was sent to the school, but the teachers, although they taught this demonic doctrine that one should try to get as much money, as much power as possible. One must see that the enemies are vanquished and so forth. And then when the teachers brought Prahlada and Hiranyakashipu asked this child, hey, tell me what have you learned? This is the next part of it. The teachers carefully taught Prahlada only these secular matters, and then after making sure, the first time Hiranyakashipu was not too harsh with Prahlada. He thought that this is all the teachers have not probably taught well, and then he might have come in contact with some devotee of God, and because of that bad company, this many parents think like that. My child is so good, but why he got into this bad habit? Some bad company must be there. So it was thought that Prahlada somehow got into a bad company, and thus he is taking the name of God. So, and Hiranyakashipu again asked, what is the best thing you learned, dear? And Prahlada said, practicing devotion to Vishnu is in the prescribed 9 ways is the best thing. These 9 ways of practicing devotion, these are practical things. We, even if we feel that we should become devotees, means our mind should go to God, but there is a gap between what is and what should be. That is actually where the moral science emerges. The ethics and morality, they emerge when one feels the gap between what is and what should be. So what is should be transferred to what should be. And that's a passage, So it is these 9 forms of practicing devotion, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoho. In Bhagavatam it has been told several times, in other texts also you see this, that one should hear about God. Then, means don't hear about anything. We get tremendously influenced by what we hear. And so keep on thinking about it through ear or through eyes. Here, hearing includes reading and so forth also. That reading actually automatically includes hearing. I had told you a nice joke in a village. In one village, almost everybody was completely illiterate, could not read. Only the postmaster could read. So one day, an illiterate person in the village got a letter, and then he asked the postmaster, please, you read out it to me. And as the postmaster said, oblige, yes, okay, I will read it out to you. This man goes behind and puts his fingers in the ears of the postmaster. Hey fellow, what are you doing? No, you should only, this is a confidential letter. So you should read, but you should not hear. So that doesn't happen. So the idea is here that Shravana means hearing includes reading and so forth. So it is that absorbing, taking in the divine through these things, then chant, recite, like we chanted this Shivanama Sankirtanam, chant it. That also has an impact in our minds. So then Pada Sevanam, that it is worship Vishnu, worship God in every possible way. So then there is the service of the devotees and so forth. 9 beautiful practices are given. These are the practices which gradually now transform our inner nature. The direction of common person is towards the objects of sense enjoyment. And what happens because of that? The person gets caught in that. And suffers thereby. When you are caught in that, what happens? The desires keep on increasing. And every single desire is essentially suffering. Because what happens when you desire something, there is the feeling of lacuna. I don't have this. And thus that lack of having that and the corresponding idea that I should have make you work. So that is how the desires in life create more and more suffering. If these desires are about only apparent things, like somebody, just imagine, sees the waves on the ocean. Let me catch this wave. I love this wave. I want to catch it. Goes there. What will happen then, Ananya? Will that fellow be able to catch that wave? Never. There is no such wave there. Wave means it is just appearance, comes and goes. By the time the fellow goes to catch, it is gone. So you can never get it, and thus the craving becomes very painful. Thus one gets into these things more and more by these organs running after the sense objects, the mind running after those things, lands us in suffering. That is why in Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, you read a question, very early pages of Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, you find this question. M is asking Sri Ramakrishna. In Bengali it says, Ishware moti ki kore hoy, means how the mind can go towards God. And when is this question possible? Obviously, if you don't want the mind to go to God, this question doesn't arise. And if the mind is spontaneously going to God, still this question doesn't arise. So, in what situation does this question arise? When the mind wants to go to God, but is not going to God, then how to go there? It is. One day I was trying to open the door of this bank. I went after hours. I wanted to use just the ATM machine. And then you have to insert that debit card to open it. Now I tried this way, that way, it was not working. Then another gentleman came. I asked, hey, how does one open this? He said, just try this way, that way. It is not very always clear to me also. But then he opened it, that, okay, look, put it like this, and then it opened. So why was this question, how to open this? Because I wanted it to open and could not open. So this is how the question comes, that how the mind will go to God actually. I want it to go to God, but it is not going to God. So this therefore becomes a question. And this practice of devotion, gradually by practice, our mind starts to go in that direction. Practice is all that is necessary to what we understand needs to be converted into experience. And the only way is proper practice under an expert guidance. So, when Prahlada gave this answer, practicing devotion to Vishnu in the prescribed 9 ways is the best thing. Now, it was too much for Hiranyakashipu to take it. Even after giving training under the teachers, the fellow still is not mending his ways, and he may become thus a blot on our clan. And because of him, others also will get spoiled. So eliminate this fellow. Although, as his son, he loved Prahlada as an extension of the body. The child is an extension of the body. That is why the Sanskrit word is santana. Santana means that you just stretch it. Tan means to stretch. So the body as it were gets stretched, and that is the progeny, child, son, daughter, whatever. So it is like your body. That is why parents love their children so much. They are the English word offsprings. They are just springing from the body. So it is, but even though springing from the body, if that is giving more pain and is not really doing any good thing, then you cut that also. Like some, say, tumor is growing. It is growing from the body, but it is going to be a big problem. So, before it becomes too much, too big, cut it off. So, Hiranyakashipu thinks like that, oh, let this fellow be eliminated. This kind of behavior should not be tolerated. Let it be taken away right now. So, the demon told the guard to kill this poisonous creature fast, though his own son. And then all the guards, they rushed to kill this fellow, but could not be killed. Somehow their sharp weapons could not pierce Prahlada's skin at all. Nothing happened. So now Hiranyakashipu got very worried that, oh, I am not able to kill him. And there is a mention in the Vedic literature that Sunashepa was a creature, a being. In some cases, is in the Rigvedic literature, it is like a human being. In some, it is described as some human-like creature, but not exactly human. So, it is the what happened then, that creature took a revenge because he was to be killed in a sacrifice and could not be killed. It is said that if you try to kill a snake, it is just anecdotal, friends, and they leave the snake wounded. The snake keeps that in mind and then follows you to bite and kill you. So it is like that. Hiranyakashipu was scared that this boy I could not kill, he is going to now remember and wreak revenge on me. And so in the meantime, what happened, he was worried. The teachers told, no, we should give him another chance, He is a mere boy, and why, the teacher said to the extremely worried Hiranyakashipu, you hold power over the whole world. No need to get panicked so soon. Prahlada is a mere boy. Let him grow a bit, and that will remove those childish ideas from his mind. That is how many think that is too little. He has these ideas right now, but when the fellow grows and given proper training, the fellow will stop doing this. Like many have the bad habit in the childhood of biting the nails. Not a healthy, hygienic thing to do. But then they have the habit, so proper training when they grow and understand this habit, in most cases, drops off. They said, well, Prahlada could be trained further and then give him another chance, don't try to kill him right now. So, and anyway, Hiranyakashipu could not kill him. So he said, okay, come on. And then the training further continued. But even though he was sent again to the school, the matters just worsened. What happened? Now there are the other children in the school. Prahlada started influencing them. It is the description is very nice, that whenever the teachers went out on their own household purposes, Prahlada's classmates, who then got time for play, would call him to join them. On one such occasion, this enlightened Prahlada spoke to them lovingly for their instructions, deepening the very pitiable, depicting the very pitiable condition of people steeped in worldly life. The boys, whose minds had not yet been corrupted by the words and examples of the extremely worldly minded fellow asuras, were powerfully attracted by the weight and seriousness of Prahlada's words. If one has these proper words, they are not very difficult to understand. One can easily thus relate to them if one wants to hear. And in the younger age, that possibility is there. When one becomes old, then you don't want to hear such things, because the mind is already very corrupted with the worldly attractions and so forth. So therefore, these young boys, they gathered around Prahlada. I remember, when I thought of becoming a monk, I tried to tell so many of my friends and relations that, look, don't you see this things in the world, they appear and disappear. Don't you see that what we go for enjoyment, that doesn't last. Moreover, this universe, it is just a play, a passing show, coming and going. Don't you see this, that therefore God alone, the substance of all, the material in everything, that alone is real? Now, they heard it all. But they had an answer. Oh, who told you to think about these things? There are many other nice things to think about. Those, things that philosophy and all that, they are to be looked into when you become old. At younger age, you should not go into it. This younger age, this youth is for having sense enjoyments, And then when you grow ripe in years, then you can control these senses, then go for all these things, because anyway your sense capability of sense enjoyment will dwindle. And so while the senses are still capable of enjoyment, let them go towards enjoyment. When they will not have this capability, then go towards these philosophical truths and so forth. There are, why, who told you to think about these things at this age? So, this is a deception, one nice incident, I was at some center, another senior Swami was there, and then a young man, maybe just about our Krishna's age or so forth, it is. So he said to that Swami, Swami, all these things are not possible now. In the old age it may be possible, because in the young age the force in all our these organs is so much difficult to control. The tendencies are very powerful, and it is difficult to control. In the old age, those forces will get reduced. The senses will not have that much power. The desires will lose their power, and then it could be brought under the check. And you can check them after that. So the Swami laughed and said, oh, in the old age, he had a little that somewhat rough sounding language, but very correct. In the old age, you fellow, you will not be able to control even number one, number two. What to speak of the mental tendencies? It is not that the tendencies and the desires, they weaken in the old age. Only the capability of the sense, these organs, that gets dwindled, and therefore the suffering is more. The old age is a good example of what the Greek mythological story, Swami Vivekananda refers to that, Tantalus hell, the hell of Tantalus. So, how is that hell? A fellow, he was a king, but had done many sinful things, so he was sent to that hell. And how is that hell? The fellow had lot of thirst and hunger. He was immersed in water. The water, so you would say if he is thirsty, he can drink that water. The water would keep on rising up to his lips. And let me drink, the water would recede, would not be able to drink. There were a lot of those hanging around him, all different food materials, very delicious looking, and they would come just close to his lips. No, they would go up again. So, would not be able to have anything. That is the old age. The desires are there, but no power to fulfill them. So that is why Prahlada tells them that he started telling the demon children and wonderful teachings, It is this chapter I read so many times, because this gives some very important truths about life. The wise should start the practice of devotion at an early age, because it is possible only in the human birth, which is very rare, and who knows how long it will last. There is another incident. A young boy wanted to become a monastic, and then somebody told him again, some old person See, this should be practiced in the old age, not now. The boy said, okay, I will do that provided you give me two guarantees, and that I will live till becoming old. The life is so uncertain, who knows who will die when it is. So, can you give that guarantee? No. And second thing, even if suppose I survive till becoming old, there is that nice saying in the ice cream shops. I saw it in an ice cream shop. Life is uncertain. Eat your desserts first. Because you don't know when will you be able to eat. So it is uncertain. So first eat these desserts. So it is second thing is that young boy asked, can you guarantee that now I have this longing for some higher truth? Will that remain when I grow old? Can you guarantee that? Most probably it does not, it will not remain. Because when you grow older, that it is so many different worries and other things come. Prahlada explains to these children that it is human birth is very rare. A speciality of human birth, as you can see, that compared to all the other creatures that we know about, other creatures have many other faculties that human beings don't have. But this is a very important thing that human beings have, and that is the idea of what should I achieve in life, the goal of life. Human beings do things with a purpose. There is this idea, and therefore human beings also have this sense of ethics and morality. There is the sense of religion in human beings. The animals, they never do anything immoral because that sense is not there. In the absence of this sense of morality, means what is good and what is not good. This discernment is not possible in other birds. Now, for example, if a dog sees some food that its senses automatically tell that this is the food, and then completely is immersed in the eating of that. Swami Vivekananda says that can any human being eat with that same gusto as a dog eats? The whole mind gets into that. So these creatures, they do not commit any sin because there is no such idea. Whatever instinctive life, there is no question about thinking and about whether thinking of consequences and so forth. You just see and do. That's it. So that is why the other creatures, although many of them date back human beings by millions of years, yet they continue to live in the same way. Cockroaches, mice are some good examples. They continue to live as they were living say millions of years ago. Human beings are comparatively very youthful, comparatively recently evolved species. And what have they done? Just compare the living style. Do you know any other creature that makes schools and educations of learning? No, there is only human beings do that. That yes, we have Brown University, They don't admit no creature, other creature goes also there. A crow can take an application in the beak and say, "Hey, give me admission." No, there is no such possibility there. There is no such idea to learn. And through learning, see, human beings have completely changed their life pattern. I have not seen any other creature who cooks the food. Look at human beings. All these big culinary institutions and what kind of the processing of the food that happens. No other creature ever does that. Putting on clothing, whole apparel industry, clothing industry. No other creature I have seen. They have a tailor's shop of their own. No, it is. They do not have any such thing. Can you see the development? A caveman living, say, just not too long ago, say about 10,000 years ago, living in a cave and then hunting with the most primordial tools like stones and such things, and then eating the raw meat, somehow surviving, and no clothing as such. And now imagine somebody living in the, they say, in the most posh building in the New York City. So see the difference in the style. This is the result of very special features of human beings that they want to know. Learning is very important for human beings. So want to know further that what is the goal of life. So this is the human birth, therefore, is considered very special, should not therefore be wasted. Like the animal birth. What is the animal birth? Means run after the sense objects and just appropriate them, try to enjoy that. That is the animal life. Human beings cannot even do that properly. It is because human beings feel a prick of conscience that, oh, am I doing justice to my living? It is, am I living just to eat? It is eating to live is one thing, but just is that human life? You feel the prick of conscience that, and so you cannot enjoy also. Just as you cannot enjoy a walk. Yeah, nice, let us go for a walk. You like. But suppose as usual Preet goes for walking and then the shoe he has put in and there is a little sharp pebble in the shoe. Now can he enjoy the walking? Constantly pricking will be there. So you cannot really enjoy enjoy these external sense objects in human birth because it is not meant for that. So therefore direct the energies in this search that what is beyond these appearances, what is the truth. So this is this human life is short as such, and not as long as, say, it is said that some creatures they live for 500 years and so forth. Human life is short, so it is who knows and how long will it last. Something like corona comes and many die at the young age. So it is, they have a body. And another thing, this is a practical wisdom. I liked it so much when I first read. They having a body get sorrow and happiness naturally due to their karma, and so no special effort needs to be put in for that. How much pleasures you will get and how much corresponding pain you will get. The pleasures in human life, you see that as pleasure, but the obverse side of that very pleasure is pain. So you get pleasure, you get pain, like the head and tail of a coin, two sides of the coin, you get the coin, you get both. So therefore, to see that trying to get only pleasure, happiness, extract happiness from these things in the world, that is Naomi going to be a failure. Because if you get a coin, you don't get only one side of the coin, you get both sides of the coin. So remember that. It is thus. Therefore, why waste your efforts in that? Don't waste your efforts in that direction. So Prahlada told these children that, and his teachings were very powerful. We shall continue to study that next Friday. Our today's time is almost over. So let us do. I had prepared some more things, but we cannot get the time to do that. So therefore, let us conclude with this closing chant, and then you can ask questions. Whatever questions come to your mind, you feel free to ask them. Nigamakkalpatarurgalitam phalam शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः. O devotees, quaff, quaff to intoxication this nectar of the fruit of the tree of Vedas, flowing from the mouth of the great sage Shuka and mixed with the ambrosia from his words. Any question? Yes, Abhishek? Pranam.
So my question is, as we know that the mind, which is not the physics,
Not
the same as the physical, it's not a physical entity.
It is subtle physical, yeah.
Subtle physical. Attaches itself to the, as if it were to the cords of the brain, and with that gives us the vision or the feeling or touch or.
Yeah.
But right now, over the past 2 years, including myself, you must be knowing generative artificial intelligence, which is able to reason, which is able to comprehend, able to write, able to paint, able to sing, and most of the faculties of the mind it is able to do. So it is not that the artificial intelligence is not in the physical realm. It is in the physical realm. It is somehow coded into a machine. Now my question is, in this case, mind, which is not considered to be a part of the physical realm, how could we then construct it exactly in the physical realm? Then does it need a reflection on that part of Veda, that is mind actually outside the physical plane or not?
Well, it is actually what is called artificial intelligence is like mind. This mind is a software loaded on what is called this hardware. The body is the hardware on which the software is loaded. Like any time you have, say, for example, a computer, you have the hardware, you load it with, say, Microsoft, this processing things. So you load it with software. A system is loaded on it. So artificial intelligence is also like that. It is nothing different from mind as such. Only mind is a little more complicated. Artificial intelligence is gradually coming to that. It will come slowly to that. It is still in the process of getting built. As it becomes more and more sophisticated, it will be able to do many more things that human beings do. Like a few months ago, I told somebody I had given a talk in Connecticut and I have to give a talk here. And I didn't get time to prepare for the talk that I was going to give here. So I told our Jitendra, he's sitting there, hey, just use your chat GPT to get some material on this. And he immediately did that. From chat GPT he got some information. But there were so many mistakes in that. Because after all, chat GPT collects from various sources without checking the validity of those sources. So, and therefore, I got some correct information and some wrong information. So, it is a good tool to use, but like every tool, it has its limitations. So yes, AI also is like, it is same with our mind. Our mind also makes sometimes right judgment, sometimes wrong judgment. So, and this is true that the mind attaches itself exactly like the software attaches to hardware. The mind attaches itself to brain and then functions accordingly. Yes.
So in that case, the AI would catch the reflected consciousness because
Please.
The mind has the reflected consciousness. The mind can have the reflected consciousness. Yeah. So in this case, AI will also have the reflected consciousness because nothing exists outside consciousness.
Oh yes, I had given a lecture on this, that according to Vedanta, there is no difference in that respect. Everything is consciousness. All what you see as there is nothing like an inert substance. Everything has percolated with consciousness. It is the artificial intelligence is also conscious. There is that story that I had quoted in some of these lectures. Our Adi Maharaj searched and gave it to me, that a Google program, artificial intelligence program, the engineer who was working on that, what is that, Lambda, that program's name is Lambda. That Lambda is conscious. That is what that Google engineer thought. And he gave the examples that this program says that I am worried, I am feeling scared, like all those that a so-called conscious or sentient person will do, that program also was capable of doing. So, in that case, you are right, that everything is sentient. This division, that what is sentient and insentient is non-existent really. It is not possible to divide things like that. You cannot show. I had put this challenge before people, that show me one criterion on which you can divide that this is sentient and this is non-sentient. Everything is actually sentient. It is, if I am sentient, then this chair on which I am sitting is also equally sentient. And so naturally I consider artificial intelligence to be quite conscious. Any other question? Oh, Aditya has a question there.
Swamiji, you spoke earlier about suffering and desire, which is a very common theme in Buddhism, specifically in the Four Noble Truths. So I wanted to ask you, well, two questions. One is, what are the differences or nuances between how Bhagavad Puran understands desire and suffering and how Buddhists understand it? And second
I'm
is...
not able to hear Abhijit. Whatever
Hello?
there's Abhijit. I'm not able to hear
Oh,
what exactly.
now?
Sound is getting some problems.
Hello? Can you hear me?
I hear as noise, but not as exactly the specific words.
Should I try again?
Yeah, it is very good there.
Hello? Okay.
Okay, try.
Okay. So you were talking about suffering and desire earlier in the class today.
Yes.
Which is a very common theme in Buddhism, specifically in the Four Noble Truths of the Buddha. So I wanted to ask you two questions. One is, are there differences or nuances in terms of how Bhagavad Puran understands these two concepts of suffering and desire? And second question is, when the Buddha talks of desire as the cause of suffering, he doesn't say desire per se, but he uses the word trishna or thirst. How do you understand the difference between trishna and desire?
Same thing. Trishna and desire are the same thing. He calls that tanha or trishna. It is like comparable to our desire to drink water. You feel the need to go and have some water, you are thirsty. So many desires are also like that when they become intense. You want to somehow or other fulfill it. So in Western psychology, they use two different words like desire and drag. Desire when it is at the level when you can control it. Drag, that desire becomes drag where it is now out of your hands. It is, you cannot control it. And they lead to suffering is a common feature in Vedanta, Bhagavad Puran or Buddhism. Because the desires that we have are about unreal things. They appear and they are actually not there. And so you go to get that, there is this desire, let me go and get that. But when you get it, you don't get the happiness that is expected out of it. And so it leads to sufferings. It is very common, like if you want to say, you look in the mirror and then you think that you need some brushing of your hair, and now you are seeing it in the mirror. If you keep on brushing the mirror, how long will you do it? After 5 minutes, nothing is happening, and you will suffer because of that. That is how the suffering comes due to desires. These are, so when the desire is about something that is real, then the things change. That which is real, when the desire about that arises, then you get it, your life starts becoming more and more happier. You start coming out of the suffering more and more. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Any question up there? No. So we shall conclude with the closing chant. मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल। मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल। हरि हरि बोल, हरि हरि बोल, हरि हरि बोल, हरि हरि बोल। कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल, कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल, कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल, कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल। मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल। केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल। Two announcements, friends. Firstly, that day after tomorrow is the day-long celebration of Sri Ramakrishna's birthday. The birthday actually, according to the lunar calendar, is on Tuesday, but we are celebrating it for the convenience on Sunday. So that will be the coming Sunday, day after tomorrow. And another thing you already know, but we know and forget, that the clocks have to be pushed forward by 1 hour. So you will get 1 hour less sleep on Saturday night. So Sunday you have to get up early. So that is these are the two announcements. Okay then, all the best.